House of Representatives Ad-hoc Committee on Rivers State Oversight has queried the state's sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok-Ete Ibas, retired, over questionable allocations in the 1.48 trillion naira 2025 budget. During a budget defense session in Abuja, committee chairman and House Majority Leader, Professor Julius Ihonvere, flagged several concerns, including 24 billion naira for CCTV at Government House, 30 billion naira for gunboats, 23 billion naira listed as contingency without detailed justification. The committee also criticized the Rivers government for funding federal projects without reimbursement agreements, calling for greater transparency and fiscal responsibility. A 48-hour ultimatum was issued for submission of a full breakdown of the flagged allocations, the medium-term expenditure framework, details on local government fund management, documentation on financial transfers to local government areas, records on the Air Force-based agreements. Responding at the administrator's aide, Andrew Weke said the projects were inherited and based on assessed needs. He explained the gunboats were for security, the contingency for emergencies like flooding, and the CCTV for upgrading surveillance. The committee affirmed this commitment to accountability and awaits further documentation. Nze, what do you make of this development in Rivers State's 2025 budget? 24 billion naira for CCTV installation in Government House that already has functional CCTV cameras. I mean, well, what do you make of this story?
You know, speaking in public space makes us to a large extent curtail some of the things we have in our hearts. The issue of 24 billion for CCTV camera, to me, is absurd.
24
billion for CCTV camera.
Not billion.
You know, see, the truth is that when this thing started, some of us criticized it. And some analysts and some supporters say, no, allow the man to work, allow the man to work. Here, nobody says the man should not work. But you discover that the man left the core thing he came to do and began to do other things. Yeah, you came to restore peace, isn't it? That was your proper assignment. But you discover that the internal Rivers crisis kept on. It continued. Core clashes here and there. Communal clashes here and there. Killings, court killings, communal killings, even some little political killings were still taking place, and we didn't see this man go back to arrest these areas. Rather, the first thing he did was to remove all the people he felt that belonged to the former suspended governor. The next thing is to launch deep into the ocean of Rivers resources and begin to dabble with the budget that another person had prepared, which we saw how he padded it and things like that. And all these things were just aimed at getting his own cut, as having served in Rivers State for about 3 months now, thereabout. So, but I thank God that the House Committee has begun to look deeper than what the Senate did. Because Senate just ran through it and they were okay with that. And House has also gone through it. I don't know if it has been signed, passed. If it has been passed, and now they are coming back for explanation, I would say that which means they did what they did in a kangaroo form. Now, everybody is seeing it clearer, or more clearly, that the sole administrator has some little skeletons in the cupboard. Because you can't tell me that Government House that has existing and functional CCTV is still needing up to 24 billion naira.
Repeat that amount again, please.
You know,
just for emphasis.
That is 24 billion naira. Not 24,000, not 24 million, 24 billion. Please, this is Rivers State, where you see some roads are not yet built. People are still suffering in some places. We don't have light. Even my area that usually have light. Now, I don't know whether to say. Last time, everything I had in my fridge got spoiled. Because I was hoping that they will come. As I was hoping, unfortunately, I was not having gas to power my generator. And everything damaged. So before I could send children to go, the house that has started smelling. Before I could send children to go and get gas. House has asset flow. I feel so bad. And these same people will come and stay collect. Ibas knows that Rivers State is still suffering in these areas, and all he needed to do was to scoop out of the ocean of Rivers Treasury. And maybe if they are bringing back the governor, before you say, we have done this, we've done this, we've done this, and look at it. Another thing we need to point out here is that you can never accuse the external rat of stealing the fish in the kitchen without the involvement of the internal rat. So look at even Weke, who was trying to give explanations. He's a Rivers man, and he's now joining to loot these same resources. And there could be other politicians, other civil servants who are aligning with this man to do all this. And when they finish it and go, will remain Rivers. He will go back to his own state. And the question anybody will ask is, when will all these things stop? Mr. President, who brought him to us, has not questioned him for once for all these things. When this budget was padded, in this show, I cried foul. I said, why are you didn't prepare this budget. You are coming to defend a budget you didn't prepare. And I remember that I was here with Honorable Kisley sometime, when I said that this man is going to defend the budget he didn't write. And now
the budget is presenting. It's not the budget that the suspended governor prepared.
See, if you go through that budget, if you go through that from page 1, you discover that this was exactly the 1.1 trillion budget that the suspended governor prepared. He just did little touches here and there, and now presented it. You can go back to it.
The budget is his budget. If there have been amendments, it's his budget. It is not. So let's just face
whether he tried to defend the budget another person prepared, or he presented his own budget. But if he's presenting his own budget, for how many months?
Right.
Okay, you have just 6 months to stay, and you are placing a budget for a state that will run for 1 full year, and things like that. And look at how it has been padded. Now, if not for the eagle eye of the House of Reps Committee on Rivers Emergency Rule, nobody would have known that such. And look at, you just talked about that of CCTV. Have you talked about the gunboat? Have you talked about other little areas where they have choked money head? They have created, if I would call it, drainage through where the resources will be running out as it is being passed. Before the suspended governor will come back, all these things will flow out, and they will feel happy that they have collected their own quota. It is the Rivers people that suffer. Honestly, it is. And I call on Rivers State people, let all of us rise up, irrespective of your political divide, irrespective of who you support. Please let us remember that the society belongs to us. This state, all of us are here. For me, I have more property in this state than my own mother state. Right. So I hold the Rivers State more tenaciously than I hold my own state. I'm from Enugu, for God's sake. But how many properties do I have in Enugu? Do I pay tax in Enugu? Am I training my children in Enugu? They are all here, and they were all born in this place. So let us see how we can maintain a better society where our children will grow to inherit and say of a truth our fathers fought for us.
All right, very well. George, what do you make of this story? 24 billion naira for CCTV at Government House, 30 billion naira for gunboats, and 23 billion naira listed as contingency without detailed justification.
Well, let me first and foremost thank the House Committee on Rivers Emergency Rule, to have looked closely, to expose this rot and that budget. I mean, it is absurd. 24 billion naira for CCTV in the government house. The question one would want to ask, before now, was there no CCTV camera in Rivers State Government House? There are
functional CCTV cameras.
So, what is the essence of replacing those other CCTV camera with the sum of 24 billion naira? So, I don't know. Sometimes, some of these leaders, so-called leaders, are not smart even when they want to steal. I'll use that word. They are not smart even when they want to steal. Because I don't know, is it because we live in a society where, even the people who are saddled with the responsibility of oversight on the budget do not care because they are also interested in taking theirs. If not, how would that pass? How? 24 billion, we are talking about billion naira, not million. 24 billion just for installation of camera, not for the entire city of Port Harcourt and the environs.
Or
to boost security.
Or a local government.
We are talking about just within the precinct of the government house alone.
24 billion.
To say you want to secure the executive governor of Rivers State, 24 billion naira. I mean, this is absurd. And, it should not be something that will be swept under the carpet. The presidency should look into this matter and invite Ibas to explain further. However, we listened to what Ibok-Ete said there in his defense, that this was inherited. That it was inherited.
And he said, 1, inherited. 2, based on assessments, which means that the administration of Ibas has assessed the needs.
I don't want to talk about that. It was inherited. Meaning that
there are 2.
Okay.
1 is inherited. 2 is based on the assessment on the needs of the state.
Okay, needs assessment that was carried out by Ibas.
Yes.
For government house to have a CCTV camera of 24 billion naira. Like I said, it is absurd.
23 billion for...
No, I'm coming to that. It is absurd and it's unacceptable. Rivers people should rise irrespective of your political leaning. Whether you are for A or for B or you're sitting by the fence, please, we should all condemn, because this is our resources. It is obvious that this money will not all go into installation of CCTV camera. We know what they call budget padding. We know what they call conduit pipe and siphoning the people's money. So these are ways through which they do this. So Rivers people, irrespective of your political party leaning, irrespective of who you're supporting, whether you live here, as long as you're a Rivers person, either by birth or by whatever, please stand up with every means you have to condemn this action. We should not allow that to see the light of the day. If not, that is the way that Ibas and his co-travelers will use to siphon our money at the expense of Rivers lives.
George, in defense of the CCTV camera, Andrew Ibok-Ete, the administrator's aide, says that the CCTV, the 23 billion naira for CCTV installation in the government house, he said that it is for upgrading surveillance. Now, he did not say that the CCTV cameras are bad. The ones that are already installed in government house, they are bad. So basically, if we are to put things into proper perspective, according to what Andrew Ibok-Ete said, 23 billion naira is for upgrading surveillance. The 24 billion naira is for upgrading surveillance in government house. Upgrading CCTV surveillance. George, before I get back to
let me say this. The man has further indicted himself by saying that 24 billion is to upgrade, is for upgrade of surveillance. Unfortunately, when you want to probe further, when you want to question further, they will tell you that issues of security are not discussed in the open. What are they upgrading? Let us know. We can make our findings in the market to know how much these things cost. We are talking about 24 billion naira. That is the truth. The moment you want to seek further information on that, clarification on what they are upgrading, they will tell you it's security matter and those matters cannot be discussed in the open. But you are talking about our money. My brother, this is not, my dear, this is not the issue of whether you are for this or you are for that. This money is, it's so humongous that we are talking about other sectors in the state that are suffering. People are suffering. You're talking about 24 billion for upgrade. Not even new installation, upgrade. Meaning that there are CCTV camera there, functional. You want to upgrade to something better because you want to secure the president of the United States. It is absurd. It is not acceptable. Rivers people should rise against this. This is not something that we should even be, wasting time to ensure that it does not see the light of the day.
Now, let's quickly look at the 23 billion naira listed as contingency without detailed justification. They listed 23 billion naira for contingency, and that contingency was ambiguous. Like there were no clear contingency plans. And Andrew Ibok-Ete, in defense of this 23 billion naira for contingency, said that it was the contingency, it was for emergencies like flooding. So probably we are anticipating natural disasters, and you know, 23 billion naira is being set aside for contingencies that are unclear what the contingencies are. Nze?
Do you know that somehow, when some certain things happen, I try to manage my thoughts. A certain Nweke gave us a very powerful blow just a few months ago, and another Nweke has come with another. What is wrong with the Nwekes? Please, my apologies to any Nweke wherever. because this Andrew Nweke of a man, I can't understand. If you know there are things that are undefendable. There are crimes, there are atrocities that cannot be defended, and you know these things, but you just jump out because of the little millions you will be paid to make a public disgrace of yourself. What are you? Who are you? You said you need 24 billion to upgrade surveillance in government house, and you need 23 billion for contingency. Now, let me start from upgrading of surveillance in government house. We have neighboring communities around government house. We have Port Harcourt Township. We have the Obuna Abalays. We have the Transamades. We have the Diobo. All these areas, you see the level of cultic activities in those areas, and the security agencies have not been able to contain those things. Is it these areas you are now going to mount or upgrade your surveillance through your CCTV gadget? Or is it the same government house where CCTV, in fact, let me say that as at the very day the announcement of suspension of Governor Fubara was made, it was through the CCTV we monitored most of the things that happened around there. Yes, through the CCTV, and it was as clean and as durable as it should be. So what are you coming to upgrade? Now, you have only 6 months to serve, according to Mr. President, and you have used up your 3 months. Just the remaining 3 months you want to upgrade. Who are you promising that? Now, we come to the contingency 23 billion. For what? Has NIMET given us the warning for natural disaster? Maybe flooding, because that's one of the natural disasters we have in our climate. Nothing like earthquake, nothing like hurricane, just that flood. And you know that successive governments have managed flooding in Rivers State. So what is this one about your own that you are portioning, you are appropriating 23 billion for? I think he called flooding. What else?
He called 30 billion naira for gumboats. Now, the question with the gumboats.
Do you know? Let me come at least in the area of gumboats too. When you look at it, you see fraud.
Why do you say that?
You see fraud. You see criminal mindset. Gunboat for who? For the Navy? For the Amphibious Brigade? Or for Marine Police? You are purchasing gunboat. You didn't specify. Because I know that Governor Fubara last year had just secured some of these gunboats for those working in our maritime sector. And you are coming to say you want to buy gunboat for 30 billion. Who requested for it? Did these security agencies tell you that they needed more gunboats? And even upon the gunboats we are buying, we are still having pirate activities in our waterways. They have not been able to curtail criminality in our waterways. We still have pirate activities. We still have illegal oil bunkering in our waterways. We still have illegal fishing in our waterways and things like that. And you are saying you want to buy more gunboats for what? So everything about this, sorry, I have no problem. I keep on saying it with Ibas as a man, as a Nigerian, as a retired military officer. I salute him, I salute his position, but when it comes to some of this little evil that our people do, and because they found themselves in the places of authority, they expect everybody to close mouth and clap for them. No. Oga, the same stake you have in this country is the same stake I have. So you cannot tell me that because you are privileged to be in authority, I should allow you to wreck the rest of the society. Not at all. So for me, let the House of Reps committee on Rivers emergency rule, I think today is Wednesday now. They gave him 48 hours.
48 hours.
From Monday to, I think 48 hours should elapse today. So we are expecting that a detailed, if I would say, one by one,
I will still list out of the things that he's expected to submit.
Yes.
In 48 hours. I'll still list it out. But before I get there, George.
Yeah, let me briefly touch on that contingency plan of 23 billion.
Yes, go ahead.
And the gumboots. Well, for the contingency plan, ordinarily one would have given it to them. You know, given the fact that in recent years we've been hit by flooding and other natural disasters, one would have given it to them. But the challenge here is that these people want to use this opportunity to siphon our money and nobody will question them. If it is something that after the 6 months tenure that he's going to be, you know, the administrator of Rivers State, that he will account for that money, assuming there's no flood within this period under review, and the money is still lying fallow there, we'll say, okay, fine. The next man that will come to inherit it, that money will be there, because flooding or natural disasters can come anytime. So you need to, you know, ensure that you tackle it almost immediately, because without that, it will cause a lot of damages. But like I said, I don't think they just want to use that as a loophole, because nobody will question them after now. Now, on the issue of gunboat for who? Gunboat for who? We already have such things in our waterways. You want to purchase one now for about 30 billion naira.
30 billion. That
is something. No, we are talking. There are so many areas that needs, you know, attention of the government to lift the people from abject poverty. The state is suffering, so they should. I don't know. This is just misapplication. Misapplication of our scarce resources. There are so many other areas that needs to be touched by the government to lift the people from abject poverty. We are from Rivers State, but if you look at the Rivers people, you will see level of suffering that is beyond what you can understand, given the amount of money that comes into the state every month, both IGR and statutory allocation. So I think this is misapplication. For now, there's no need for that gunboat. That money should be channeled into something that will affect the life of the Rivers people. I am happy that the House of Rep, committee on the emergency rule in Rivers State, are actually doing their work of oversight. They have given him an ultimatum to come and explain in detail. Every budget should be detailed. Don't tell us you want to do this, whereas you have not given us detail on how those things can go. Because at the end of the day, the average man, the ordinary man in the street, does not have what it takes to begin to question these leaders. So those who we have elected to represent us in the legislative arm of government should do the work that they are supposed to do by questioning Ibas. He's not above the law. Let him give them details so that ordinary people in Rivers State will know where their money is to be channeled.
All right. Now,
sorry, before you go further, I want to make a plea.
Go ahead.
Very passionate one. Ibas has presented a budget. National Assembly has looked at it. I'm pleading with Mr. President.
National Assembly is still looking at it.
Yeah. I'm pleading with Mr. President. Having discovered these loopholes, please swallow your pride. Restore governance back to Rivers State. Bring back the suspended lawmakers. Bring back the suspended governor. Let Rivers people manage Rivers problem. For God's sake, because this is okay. Even the House Committee Chairman is I think he should be from Delta. Yeah, he's from Delta, thereabout. And Ibas and his group are from Cross River. And Rivers people are not there. We have elected lawmakers that Supreme Court brought back to us. Yes, let them come, Right Honorable Martin Samuel and co. Let them come back, Okojumbo and the rest of them, let them come back and team up. Bring back the governor. Let the House of Assembly, just as it is in other states where the assemblies are handling their budgets, let them scrutinize this thing. And if anything is being outrageously inserted into it, they will discover it and know how they handle it.
All right.
Let Rivers people handle Rivers problem, for God's sake.
Now, Very quickly, let's look at the document that he has been given 48 hours ultimatum to submit. One, a full breakdown of flagged allocations. These were the ones that Andrew Weke was talking about as inherited.
Okay.
Right. So a full breakdown of the flagged allocation, the medium-term expenditure framework, details on local government fund management. I'm interested in this one. Documentation on financial transfers to local government areas and records of the efforts-based agreement. Now, I'm quite interested in the details on local government fund management and documentation on financial transfers to local government areas. George, now, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, right, the details on local government funding has been shrouded in secrecy. We literally don't know what is being spent, what is being sent to these local government administrators, as it were, since this emergency rule started. And good thing, it is going to come to limelight. I hope that the House of Rep Committee on Rivers State Emergency Oversight makes these documents public, right? But I'm quite interested in the local government situation, considering that everything has been shrouded in secrecy.
Yeah, I will still be thanking the House Committee on Rivers State Emergency. I just hope they will live up to their responsibility by being impartial
and thorough.
And thorough, and ensure that they work for the Rivers people. Like my brother here said, there are no Rivers people in the management of Rivers affairs as it is today. So that issue of someone that's actually will be affected directly coming from Rivers State is not there. So these men might just be mindless in looting the resources of Rivers State because they feel that at the end of the 6 months they will all depart and go to their respective state without having any direct
consequence.
On what happens here. So I want to say that I am also interested to know how much that has been transferred to the local government within the period under review. So the House, these things are not hidden. If they want to be thorough, if they want to be, if they want to do their job without favor to anybody, they will do it and they will reveal exactly what has transpired.
I think that under FOI Act, Freedom of Information Act, these documents should be made public. So the public should be able to access them.
Yeah, no doubt. The public should, but right now, I doubt if there's anything like that in the public domain. So the House of Rep Committee on Rivers Emergency should compel Ibas and his team, because this transfer, there are receipts to it. It's not just something you count money and give. There must be, the document to be signed and all that. They should be thorough in these people releasing all these documentations so that they will find out exactly how much that has gone into the local government.
And what exactly the administrators have
done with it.
What would say, if I may ask, this period of emergency rule, have you felt the impact of the administrators?
Nothing actually has happened. That is the truth. Let me tell you, we were not even expecting, me personally, I don't know for others, I was not expecting anything spectacular from these sole administrators at the local government level. I wasn't expecting anything. In fact, the way it was structured, Ibas would have just done the entire thing alone. But because the state is too big for one person to oversee what happens there, so it became necessary for him to appoint those that will help him, to oversee what is happening at the local government level and report back to him. That's not only what happened. So
probably the extent of the funds transferred to local government.
It's just for payment of salaries and nothing more.
Hopefully, when it is reviewed, hopefully that will determine what has gone in and what the expectations ordinarily should.
No doubt. But don't be shocked to find out that part of what that might be revealed there is that some money that went into the local government were for one project or the other, which we are not carried out. So I am happy, like I said, if the House of Rep Committee on Rivers Emergency Rule at some point is not compromised, because right now there is serious horse trading. Everybody is on hot seat. Because even the House of Rep Committee may be doing it because they also want to have their own court. I am telling you, this is Nigeria.
If that is the case, then
this is Nigeria.
One would say it behoves on Rivers people to insist that the right thing be done. Right, whether there
you must have the locus for you to demand for something.
Under FOI Act, anybody in Rivers State can actually access this information. They are bound to release this information under freedom of... This is public funds.
You have a point. So let's just...
Like I said, one would say that it will be swept under the carpet if Rivers people allow it to be swept under the carpet. But if Rivers people lend their voices, this is Rivers money.
The challenge we've been having in Nigeria is docility from the masses, from the people. The people are docile. They find it difficult to hold elected officials accountable. So our hope lies with the House of Rep Committee to do a thorough job. If they don't do it, it will be difficult for even the ordinary man in the street to find out, even though we have the Freedom of Information Act. See, it is difficult to fight an establishment. Let me tell you why. You might decide, you might have that fire burning in you to ascertain some of all these things because you want to do something right. Do you have the security? Because you're trying to upstage a people. You're trying to make people who are there have been seen as leaders to be criminals, to be seen as criminals. So they also will fight back. Do you have the security? Do you have the wherewithal to go about seeking for this information, compare them using the law court and all that? You may not have it.
All right.
So that is the difficulty in the ordinary marriage. It's not as if Nigerians don't know. It's not as if Rivers people are not aware of these things. But how to go about it and compare these people into doing the right thing and also to go in for it if they have done wrong is the challenge. All right. So we are hoping that the House of Rep Committee that have taken up this will do a thorough job. Let them not be compromised, because I know the Ibas and his team will not, if they actually have done something wrong, they will not just allow you to lie like that. They will be moving to ensure that they have a safe landing.
All right, very well done, Zay.
I am thinking that
rather I'm placing this call on the House Committee on Rivers Emergency Rule to intensify their strict and thorough scrutiny of this budget. Now, when we come to the local government transfers and all that, and the allocations, you now ask yourself, the so-called local government administrators within these 3 months or 2, what have they been able to do? I mean, not be a local government. Though I'm not working as a local government staff, I wouldn't know whatever they are receiving now and things like that. But I think that government at the local level should extend beyond payment of salaries to carrying out some other developmental projects that will directly affect the masses. And if the government of Ibas and his local government administrators are not touching on the people, then the question will be asked, what are you bringing this budget for? Now, the House of Reps that are requested for detailed documents that guaranteed some of these allocations to local government, I think it is high time we make it public. And I'm also calling on the media. Thank you, Laurentia, that you are bringing this matter up now. Otherwise, I've listened to news, everybody shouts is 24 billion, this CCTV, and nobody is asking the critical question that should be asked. Just like in this local government allocation. Please, let us see the paper. And when we see the paper, some of us can document it against tomorrow. And when we see the paper from the administrator, the Ibas, Admiral Ibas, we should also see the expenditures of the local government administrators, how they manage the resources that came to be. You see what happened, was it last week or last 2 weeks in Ahoda local government, where some group of people, pounced on the local government administrator, beating him like a criminal who was caught stealing in the marketplace, flogging him with knife and all that,
forcing him to resign. And the question is, what was his offense? Maybe he didn't share the money adequately. So we are returning back to sharing the money, not executing governance, but sharing money. Rivers State is going back to sharing money in this 21st century. When we have other states, we have places like Lagos, we have places like other outside the country, the Dubai's, and people are developing their places, and you are talking about sharing money.
Now, talking about that, now, one of the documents that the solar administrator is expected to submit today, hopefully, is the medium-term expenditure framework. So hopefully, you know, that will explain how Rivers money has been spent from March 18 that he became solar administrator till date.
June 30.
To date, that should be able to explain what came in,
and what went out,
why it was spent, and all of that, and you know who it was given to, and whether at least we could trace our funds and what has happened to it. Not forgetting that a lot of projects like the ring road has slowed down to a large extent. The ring road has slowed down. It's still ongoing, but it has slowed down considerably. Yes.
Let me say something with regards to this medium-term expenditure that, you know, the Ibas team is expected to submit to the House of Rep committee. They will definitely submit something. Government money is not something you just dip your hand and take without, you know, attaching something to it.
Okay.
Definitely. Even the ones they have done like that, within these 48 hours or thereabout they give them, they would have started back.
They'll give it a name.
Of course, there must be something attached to it. But however, we are still counting on this committee to do a thorough job. If they take their time to do a thorough job, assuming they have spent money that they did not attach to something and have just gone to do that, backdating it, all those things we show. We are begging on them to do a thorough job, because if you ask the average person on the street, you go to Freedom of Information to seek, they might give you something, but how do you enforce it? Do you even have the security? My brother is talking about documenting it. What do you do with it? At the end of it, nothing comes back. Let those people who were elected, that has security, that has everything, that has the mandates, the powers, as given to them by the Constitution, to compare this man to give all the details regarding the expenses of Rivers State. It is through there we will know if Ibas has actually come to help develop Rivers State, or he has come to, you know, run the state aground. Once we know that, we will now know what to do.
But do you know why I'm saying that some of these documents need to be made public? The truth is this: I'm a Nigerian. I have all the right to sue anybody if the justice system is clean and clear. And if the judges in the court will be able to give proper judgment, I can obtain judgment against a sitting governor. I can obtain judgment against a sitting senator. I can obtain judgment against, if I may call one of the bourgeois in the society. So it is good, because we are believing that Nigeria won't continue in this line. Things will get better someday. I have that strong hope. When people come out to say Nigeria will never get better, I say, boy, I'm not with you in that. In fact, I'm optimistic that Nigeria will be better. So if this House of Reps Ad-hoc Committee can be able to bring all these things, especially the medium-term expenditure and all that, if they can get it, we can be able to trace it. You say yes, they will give names to those things. Let them give name. By the time they said that they walked the road where I live, yes, construction of Mini Olu Road from Ada George.
Have you seen constructions going on?
No, I'm coming.
Have you seen constructions going on? They are saying that, well, the committee was criticizing the Rivers State government for funding federal projects without reimbursement agreement. The interesting thing that I find, I'm trying to, like, you know, where are the federal government projects?
We need to know where these federal government projects are.
The federal government projects.
And by the time we have the document, and they say federal government, federal road, trunk A road, the question is which one, from what point to what point? So if they say that they walked from Aba Road, from maybe Azigboro Park to Oyibo, we asked when. They say from March 21st to June 30th. We now ask how, which company? Because all of you and I are here, and you know that there was nothing of such. Look, is it NDDC or Federal Ministry of Works that is dealing with East-West Road? And that's where I see construction going on now in Rivers State. East-West Road from Eleme Junction to One. That's where I see construction going on.
That one is on my head.
So is okay, that's the Ministry of Works.
Yes.
So which federal road are they working? So let them get us so that we can be able to defend it tomorrow.
Like I said earlier here, I said they will look for something to attach, to government money that has been expended, whether siphoned for private use or whatever. He just said something here now about federal roads. Without any prior agreement on how to
refunded agreement.
It's obvious. Thinking that attaching that federal road there will soften their mind. Federal project. Thinking that will soften their mind. The moment that gets to the House Ad hoc Committee on Rivers Emergency Rule, they look at the federal government. Okay, let them show us the ultimatum. Like I said, my plea here and all I have been saying here is that let this House Committee
not be compromised.
Let them not be compromised. Let them be thorough. If they are thorough, you will see a lot of things that will be exposed. And on that note, you and I can now stand and begin to demand, for the sack or whatever.
That is why it is incumbent on the media. I thank Laurentia for bringing this up.
They should go further.
Let other media houses,
they should go further.
Both television, the print media, the radios and all that, even social media. Let us follow these people. Let us be our eyes on them and see how much we can be able to recover. Because what happened in Rivers State today might be used as a reference point to other things that may likely happen in the near future in other states.
Again, let me add. Let's not say this because it has to do with Ibas, the sole administrator that most people never wanted to come.
No.
I'm coming. Let us not say this. The same thing that you see playing out today is the same thing that the executive governors also do. So if we must hold Ibas accountable,
that's the point.
We'll still hold them accountable. You see that the challenge that Ibas is having today is because he's not a reverse man. People feel that someone from outside coming to siphon our money, which I understand that sentiment and all that. The moment an elected governor from Rivers State steps in there, you don't see people question him anymore. People no longer question. What we are doing with Ibas today, I believe we should continue with it. We should connect both the media houses, the social commentators, everybody. People, in fact, the investigative journalists should be able to go, dig deeper to get this and hold our leaders accountable. The moment we begin to expose some of this fraud, you see some of them sitting up. I mean, for God's sake, 24 billion naira
for
CCTV upgrade. Jesus Christ.
and then 23 billion naira for
and I asked of something here. They should give us details of exact upgrade, facilities you want to do. If we cannot go to the market, we can use our Google to start.
Check the prices.
This is a particular camera that they want to upgrade. How much is it in the market?
And ordinarily, if you're even importing, because for an amount that big you import or you lease out the contract, so the greater your MOQ, that is the number of order, the lower or the lesser
the price.
The pricing.
I don't think
regardless of that, one would say with all the considering that Rivers State has not had any foreign direct investment, any income from FGI in almost 2 years, and considering the economic consequences of the political crisis in Rivers State, one would say these allocations, 30 billion naira for gunboats, 23 billion naira for CCTV, or 24 billion naira for CCTV installation upgrade.
And 23 billion
is it a priority
right
now? Is it front burner issue at this point in time? Considering again that Rivers people, their standard of living is way below the resources that is in this state. I think that is food for thought, and hopefully Rivers people will ask questions and we don't sweep this under the carpet. You know, the way Rivers people has been very vocal in this Rivers State political crisis, I hope that we are even much more vocal in this particular issue with our budgets until transparency, equity and fairness is seen to be done. Thank you so much, Nze, for coming on Open Conversation. It's a pleasure having you today. And thank you so much, George Azunda. George, it's always a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And interestingly, both of you agreed today. Oh, what a day on Open Conversation.